Here's Brody Brazil.
Okay, so this is honestly the talk of social media right now. Elon Musk has purchased Twitter. Now, he's not the only owner, but a majority owner of the social media platform. And I've pulled this article from NBC News. The headline says, Elon Musk told banks he will rein in Twitter Pay and make money from tweets, which is interesting because I've been on Twitter for 13 plus years now. I've never made a dime off it, but I seem to find myself spending an hour plus per day on there, creating content, like contributing to the platform, sometimes for better, sometimes it's unnoticed. But anyway, like, will the creators of Twitter, will the actual stars of Twitter be able to reap the benefits? Will that be one of the changes that Elon Musk makes? And some other questions later, like, is this really a great platform right now? Can he make it much better? Can he make it much worse? I'm not sure I know the answer to that, but I've pulled this article again from NBC News. Elon Musk told banks that agreed to help fund his $44 billion acquisition of Twitter that he could crack down on executive and board pay at the social media company in a push to slash costs and would develop new ways to monetize tweets, three people familiar with the matter said. Musk made the pitch to lenders as he tried to secure debt for the buyout days after submitting his offer to Twitter on April 14th, the sources said. His submission of bank commitments on April 21st were key to Twitter's board accepting his best and final offer. Musk had to convince the banks that Twitter produced enough cash flow to service the debt he sought. In the end, he clinched $13 billion in loans secured against Twitter and a $12.5 billion margin loan tied to his Tesla stock. He agreed to pay for the remainder of the consideration with his own cash. Musk's pitch to the banks constituted his vision rather than firm commitments, the sources said, and the exact cost cuts he will pursue once he owns Twitter remain unclear. The plan he outlined to banks was thin on detail, the sources added. Let me stop right there. It's weird how when you apply for a loan and you have to basically show your cards, you really wouldn't want to show every single card here, but just show enough to give an idea of where you're going with this. Anyway, back to the article. Musk has tweeted about eliminating the salaries of Twitter's board directors, which he said could result in about $3 million in cost savings. Twitter's stock-based compensation for the 12 months ending December 31st, 2021 was $630 million, a 33% increase from 2020, corporate filings show. In his pitch to the banks, Musk also pointed to Twitter's gross margin, which is much lower than peers such as Meta Platform Incorporated's Facebook and Pinterest, arguing this leaves plenty of space to run the company in a more cost-efficient way. The sources requested anonymity because the matter is confidential. A Musk representative declined to comment. Let me just jump in there. It's amazing how in the last couple years with the pandemic, with the economy changing, and I don't know the ins and outs of Twitter or social media companies on a day-to-day basis, but so many private companies have had to adjust the way they operate, downsize, streamline, whatever. You don't really ever hardly hear about Facebook, Instagram, Meta now, or Google or YouTube. You don't really hear about a lot of job slashing. I'm not saying there is or isn't room for it here, but I wonder if Twitter is quite bloated over the years, because I've never heard, again, it's a bit unprecedented that a company like this and a platform like this is going to make large-scale cuts to become a better business. But maybe that's what Elon Musk is here to do. Let's go back to the article. Bloomberg News reported earlier on Thursday that Musk specifically mentioned job cuts as part of his pitch to banks. One of the sources said that Musk will not make decisions on job cuts until he assumes ownership of the company later this year. He went ahead with the acquisition without having access to confidential details on the company's financial performance and headcount. He doesn't know all that, but he just bought the company. Musk told the banks he also plans to develop features to grow business revenue, including new ways to make money out of tweets that contain important information or go viral, the sources said. Let me revisit that. New ways to make money out of tweets that contain important information or go viral. Ideas he brought up included charging a fee when a third-party website wants to quote or embed a tweet from verified individuals or organization, In a tweet earlier this month, he subsequently deleted, Musk suggested a raft of changes to the social media giant's Twitter Blue premium subscription service, including slashing its price, banning advertising, and giving an option to pay in the cryptocurrency Dogecoin. Dogecoin? I'm not a crypto guy. Dogecoin. Twitter's premium Blue service now costs $2.99 a month. In another tweet he deleted, Musk said he wants to reduce Twitter's dependence on advertising for much of its revenue. Musk, whose net worth is pegged by Forbes at $246 billion, has indicated he will support the banks in marketing the syndicated debt to investors, and that he may unveil more details of his business plan for Twitter than the sources said. The rest of the article is just a little bit more detail, I think. Oh, no, here's the end of it here. The $13 billion Twitter loan is equivalent to 7 times Twitter's 2022 projected earnings before interest and taxes. This was too risky for some banks who decided to participate only in the margin loan, the sources said. And of course, the last sentence here, a Twitter spokesperson did not respond for a request to comment. So let's sum all this up here. Big picture takeaway. How will Twitter dramatically change here? I think it will. I think Elon Musk did not purchase this to let it be status quo. But is Twitter a great place right now? When people say, oh, it's going to get worse. Can it? It's very confrontational. It's very immature. It's also a very important tool. News gathering, public opinion, free speech. It's all of those things. But is it a great place right now? Is it even a good place right now? Can it be much better? Yeah. Oh, definitely. Can it be much worse? I guess. And I also think it's about time to monetize content. Here on YouTube and on Instagram, and I know on Facebook as well, there are ways to make money off being the provider of content to the platform. Twitter has always never really given you the opportunity. They've just started with super follows and spaces, but people, I think, are going to, in the next handful of years, decide that if Twitter's not going to give them any reward, what's the point of being there and spending all that time and attention on it? And then lastly here, I mean, it's a legitimate question. Are social platforms built to last a lifetime? Elon Musk just bought this thing for $44 billion. We know what happened to MySpace. I mean, it still exists, but could Facebook be headed down a similar downward trajectory? Not everything lasts forever. So what is the future of Twitter? Did it already peak? I don't know. I don't know a lot of this stuff, but I'd love to hear what you have to say about it in the comments section below.